Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today, I am here to bring you my reactions and thoughts for Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill show, which took place this past Friday. Sorry, I'm getting that out to you a little late. I just wanted to watch a little football this weekend. It was a banger. Um, Top to bottom, really enjoyable show. Um, yeah, let's get into some of the details next. Grab yourself a snack, maybe something to drink, and let's do this. So, we have two matches on the pre show. One is a six-way match, one fall to the finish. Nothing really on the line. I think it's just for mostly rankings, as if Impact really has those. And it's for the X Division showcase, as Kushida, returning from New Japan as he took place in the Juniors Tag League, although I don't remember who he was teaming with. I do apologize for that. We also have Angels, Alan Five Angels, who is now part of the group The Design, formerly Violent by Design. Delirious, who is replacing Bhupinder Gujar. Speedball Mike Bailey. Mike Johnson, the forgotten young buck, JK, and Yuya Umehara, also on loan from New Japan Pro Wrestling. This match started off a little quick, but then really kind of slowed down a bit towards the middle. You had Mike Bailey looking to hit his finisher on, I want to say it was Mike Jackson. I think it was someone else. No, it was Yuya. That's who it was. And then interference by Kenny King. They're going to have a fight pit match this week on Impact, which I am very much looking forward to. Then Kushida hits a Spanish fly on Jackson, who's still on the top rope, seamlessly into an armbar for the big submission victory. A bit shorter of a match than I would have liked to have seen, but I do believe everyone got a chance to showcase, and we have some more build to the Mike Bailey Kenny King rivalry. I'll give it a thumb in the middle. It wasn't bad, but I feel like they could have done better. Lay out the match a little better, maybe make it a little bit longer. Just a little. Now, as announced, a part of the pre-show, it was supposed to be a six-woman tag. The Death Dolls versus Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steele, and Savannah Evans, but that match apparently got scrapped. And I guess we'll see it down the line on an Impact taping or so. So that's a little bit of a shame. So taking its place on the pre-show is the X Division title match between Trey Miguel and Black Taurus. While the match itself was really good, it kind of was beat for beat the match we had at Bound for Glory, in which they did do really well for each other. Black Taurus trying to overpower Trey slipping and sliding all over the place, using his evasiveness to get the upper hand, and then, of course, spray paint to the face, finish 1, 2, 3. And like I said, it kind of feels like a by-the-books Trey Miguel heel match, in which, like I said, it's not bad, but it's kind of the same thing we saw already. Like, I feel like there needs to be a new step in this rivalry. Although maybe the rivalry's over. Who knows? Overall, again, thumbs in the middle. Decent little pre-show. Match itself was okay. They just need to figure out a new finish for Trey. Now, first matchup on the main card, as announced on Impact this week, we have the Impact World title match. That's right. Full Metal Mayhem as Josh Alexander defends against Bully Ray. And boy, oh boy, did these two beat 7 shades out of one another. You had table spots. You had Bully Ray dumping Josh Alexander off of a ladder onto the metal grating on the entranceway. You had a thumbtack spot, which that always gets me to kind of back off because I'm not a big fan of thumbtacks. At one point, we saw Josh Alexander with a tack stuck in his head. Like, ugh. That gets me every single time. Near the end of the match, Bully Ray's new cronies, Josh Howick and I forget the other dude's name, come out. They zip tie Josh Alexander's arms to the rope. Bully Ray looks like he's about to just lay into Alexander. Out comes Josh Alexander's wife, who has been kind of abused by Bully Ray, like used as a weapon against Josh, which that's kind of crazy. So Josh Alexander's wife gets between Alexander and Ray. Ray has oh no, before we get to that, out for a kind of double swerve spot was Tommy Dreamer. Now Dreamer looks like he was about to go hit Bully Ray. He wanted to. Then just a big Cheshire Cat grin on his face. Looks like they're both gonna beat up Josh Alexander. And then just Tommy Dreamer just twatted Bully Ray with a chair, which was... Honestly, I enjoy Tommy Dreamer. He's a hell of a dude. That was nuts. Eventually, Tommy just does get put through a table, which, you know, considering his history with tables, makes sense. Anyway, finished game. Josh Alexander White is in between Alexander, who's tied up in the ropes, and Bully Ray, who has a trash can ready to go. And then the wife hits Bully in the twig and berries. Bully Ray, weakened. Then Josh's wife gets Josh out of his situation. Josh then spinebusters Bully Ray through a table, goes for a pin, 2 count, transitions into an ankle lock submission for the win. Holy cow, that was crazy. Your winner, still champion, Josh Alexander, the walking weapon. This was a beautiful dance of destruction. I cannot recommend you watch this enough. Bully Ray still has it for me. Like, despite what he says about getting heat on the internet, he's still a damn good wrestler. So I'm going to give this match a big thumbs up. Next match. It's an interesting one. You have a 4-way elimination match for the Impact World Tag Team Championships as the Motor City Machine Guns defend against Heath and Rhino, the former champs. Ace Austin, Chris Bay representing Bullet Club for life. And the major players, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. This match was a little bit odd. It was structured a bit weird. Like, I think at first I heard, everyone, one person from every team has to start in the ring for the match to start. It starts out in a big old brawl, so no one really knows what's going on. Eventually, I do believe it's Myers and Heath that get in the ring first, and then the bell rings. So, that was a little bit confusing. Myers and Cardona then pin Rhino very early on, which, that's a little bit of a shame. I think Rhino can still hang with these guys. But, it's to build the heat, as they say. After that, Chris Bay with a quick roll-up of Brian Myers to eliminate the major players. So it is down to Austin and Bay and the Motor City Machine Guns. A match, straight up tag team match I've wanted to see since Bay and Austin got together. Some interference from the major players, which I don't like. Like, if you're eliminated in an elimination match, you go to the back. And, like, I know it's makes sense for their characters, but still, I feel like this could have been handled a little bit better. Sabin and Shelley then hit their finisher for the win. Overall, it wasn't a bad match. It was just structured really weird. Like, the ebbs and flows felt disconnected and disjointed. Although I did like the finish with Austin and Bay and the Guns. I do hope we just see these two teams mix it up again, because I think they could put on a banger of a match. So, overall, another kind of okay match. The real kicker came post-match, when out comes Frankie Kazarian, AEW's own, although we'll get to that in a second. So he kind of acknowledges the Guns for their successful defense, goes to the ring, grabs a mic, pretty much says, when I was here, I felt like I was home. When he was on loan from AEW. Then he went back to AEW, felt like he was maybe not welcomed, but like he felt like an outsider there. Considering he said, people who he thought he was friends with really weren't. So, earlier in the day, he has signed a contract with Impact Wrestling. That is right, my friends. Frankie Kazarian, the future, is back in Impact Wrestling. And honestly, I'm psyched for that. He could fit very well pretty much anywhere on the card. And dude still got it. So, going to be interesting to see where that goes in the future. Hopefully it mixes up with like a Mike Bailey again, or any number of these guys are here. Next up, we have a singles match for the Digital Media Championship as Joe Hendry defends against Moose. Now, this was kind of power for power. Not quite a lost fight, but close enough. Like, Joe Hendry had Moose up in a suplex position for a while. It did look like Joe was going to win initially. Moose with, I believe, either it was a ref bump or it was something. No, it was another low blow, I think. And then a spear, pin, 1, 2, 3. Your winner, New Digital Media. And so we thought, as the new Director of Authority, Santino Marella makes his Impact Wrestling debut. He is now the main authority figure, now that Scott D'Amore, got put through a table by Moose. So he is filling in for Scott D'Amore, which, honestly, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Santino, who cares? Santino was just such a fun, interesting character in his WWE days. And, he's probably done with actual wrestling, but to see his character as, like, this authority figure, I think could be a lot of fun. He then restarts the match after seeing, this Moose cheating, honestly. Let's figure what it is. Joe Hendry then hits his finish for the win after the restart. So, still your Digital Media Champion. It was definitely played off a bit more for jokes, this feud. But overall, I think I'm gonna... Like, the wrestling part was good. The Santino debut was fun. I think this is going to be interesting. Next up, we have a fatal four-way for the number one contender slot for the Knockouts Championship. And boy, howdy will we get to that one. We have Masha Slamovich, Deonna Purrazzo, Killer Kelly, and Taylor Wilde, who's got this wild witch gimmick going on, which I kind of dig, honestly. This match felt a little bit rushed. There were points in which I felt like, the talent really didn't meld really well. A lot of big power moves early on. I believe it was Slamovich and Killer Kelly that had Wilde and Purrazzo in submissions, dual submissions, which I always pop for those. Those are always fun. Purrazzo and Taylor Wilde get out of it. Masha Slamovich then hits a snowplow onto Taylor Wilde, onto Purrazzo for the pin, the win, and your new number one contender, Masha Slamovich. Although she has gotten shots in the past, it's going to be an interesting thing to see who she challenges, because that's our main event. Overall, it was okay. Like, the wrestling was decent, at least. I just wish they were given a teeny bit more time. Next up, in a Falls Count Anywhere war, let's just call that what it is, you have Steve Maclin versus Rich Swann. Now, this match did not start in the ring. It started in the hallway backstage. Kind of went out on the street a little bit, in which it looked like a pedestrian, let's call him what he is. He was a plant, tried to leave the arena and got a couple guys thrown on him, which, I like some outside the ring stuff. That stuff is always fun, but you overdo it, it kind of gets dull. So seeing Maclin and Swann battling out in the streets of Atlanta, that was fun. I liked that. They eventually bring it back into the arena, in which, Rich Swann tries to use his speed, but Maclin out-finesses him, including a big old powerbomb to the top of the steps, which, that looks like it hurt a lot. Maclin then gets Rich Swann in the ring. It looked like he was going for his finish at first. Rich Swann jumps over him, which it's still so surprising to see Rich Swann so athletic. He is so gifted. I really do enjoy his work. Maclin then hits a big old spear. Hits his finish for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Steve Maclin. I do hope Maclin gets a world title shot soon. I think he's due for it. And I'm going to give this match a thumbs up. This was an really entertaining Falls Count Anywhere match, in which falls actually counted anywhere. Alright, next up, we have a singles bout as Eddie Edwards takes on Josh Alexander. That's right, we got Josh Alexander in the house, back in Impact Wrestling. And honestly, in terms of a wrestling mat classic, I think this is up there for me. Like, this had all the buttons. Big old submission spots. Gresham using a lot more speed than Eddie Edwards, which that was surprising. A big counter from a Boston Knee Party, which is Eddie Edwards' finisher, which led to a near fall. Edwards then with a big Michinoku driver. I almost misspoke on that one. And then hits the Boston Knee Party. 1, 2, 3. Winner, Eddie Edwards, which I was very surprised to see this. I thought Gresham had this win in the bag, but Yeah, it does make sense to keep Eddie Edwards kind of strong, especially when he has a monster to deal with, as making his return after battling through the Nevada desert. Perfect Creation 1. PCO makes his big return and attacks Eddie Edwards. So Eddie's got a monster to deal with. And next up, this main event had me on the edge of my seat the entire night for the Knockouts Championship and Mickie James's career on the line, as we have Jordynne Grace defending her title against Mickie James. Mickie James gets a special entrance with Native American, a Native American circle around her. Honestly, I don't know how to describe it. It's probably on the internet somewhere. Please go seek it out. It was so cool. Mickie James tried to go for the chick kick DDT early, which Grace countered. Grace with the Grace Driver try early. She counters that. This match was just a giant back and forth for two really underrated wrestlers, in my opinion. And when we thought one would get the advantage, one would counter, it was back and forth the whole night. Grace trying for a muscle buster. Mickie James gets out of it. Chick kick. Tornado DDT off the ropes. A kind of sliced bread DDT combo that honestly Fuego del Sol would be proud of. For the pinfall. And new Knockouts champion, Mickie James. Like I said, this match had me at the edge of my seat the entire night. The entire time it was on. It was so emotional. It was so good. It's honestly what is good, so very good about pro wrestling. The stories being told, the battles between the two. I'm going to give this 2 thumbs up and my must-watch stamp of approval. It was that dang good. Alright, that's it for me for Impact. I hope you guys enjoy. There are 2 more shows coming in January, which I can't wait for. I believe it's this Sunday, which I believe it's going to be Saturday into Sunday. You have Pro Wrestling Noah, which is the Great Muta. I don't know if it's his last show, but I know it's the show he's going to be teaming with Darby Allin and Sting, which that's going to be interesting at least. And then Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, it's the Royal Rumble, baby. And I am both excited and absolutely terrified because last year's Rumble wasn't great. Like, for real, that was not a fun Rumble. So, fingers crossed we have a really good Rumble this year. And I'll see you then for predictions for both shows. I am going to try to do... I have had a requested video from a viewer. And I think I'm going to indulge and go back to the MCU and bring a recap of both Ant-Man movies before the new one comes out, which that's going to be interesting. So, hopefully I'll see you guys then. Please like the video, comment on it. Let me know what your favorite match was. Let me know what show you're looking forward to next. And I hope you all have an awesome of awesome days. Happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.